What's going on, world? AJ here, and today on the show, we are going to go back to the world of Lego. I feel like I've become a Lego channel with the AJ show anymore because it's always Legos this, Legos that. Honestly, I have a love for Legos. And there are some sets that I need to dive into from the olden days that I haven't touched yet. And they're coming. They're going to be coming. But I want to take this opportunity because I know I did a space episode of Space Legos a few years back or so. But I want to redo a certain set for this one. And that is Lego's Ice Planet 2002. So, with that being said, get yourself a beverage, sit back, relax, and let's revisit Lego's Ice Planet 2002. Lego's Ice Planet 2002. Why are we going back over some sets that I've already talked about from years ago in my first when I started doing Legos on my channel and just wanted to do a theme of the old sets, and then now I'm reviewing anything new I get anymore. But no, I wanted to go back over and talk about this particular sub-series of Lego Space from the 90s. And this is honestly my favorite series of space when it comes to space Legos. And I'll get into it in just a moment about that. But I want to go over some sets here on Bricklink.com first before we dive into what I do own, because I don't own all of these sets. I own 4 of them that I'm looking at here. I got a ship, another ship, and then 2 rovers. And we'll talk about which ones are which and why this theme is my favorite. So, and I just want to give it justice, do a better review on some of these older sets. And I may go back over some of these again and just redo some of these themes. But I also have themes that I haven't touched yet that we will dive into down the road here. I got Lego Adventurous Desert theme and Divers theme. Gotta touch those 2 sets here very soon. But let's start with here at Bricklink.com and just kind of go through the list here of what. Well, actually, I also have. This one has better, bigger pictures, actually. But this series came out, and this one's on what's that? Brickset.com. Look at that. Metal Gear Solid right there. Delta. Get it. Get it. I love Metal Gear Solid series. It's pretty cool. But here it tells you, what year they came out. Not 2002. That's the name. But, you got some that came out in 1994. This one apparently came out in 1998 in yeah, weird. But it's the same thing as these other ones here, I think. Yeah. They're all the same sets, just repackaged and renamed, re-released. But it started out in 1993. 1993 is when this series came out. And one of them was definitely a Christmas present I got one year coincided with the Lego Castle. But we'll go ahead and go over here to Brickset.com because tells you the use value, but I could tell you roughly how much these sets cost. So, I own this one. We'll get to that in a moment. Ice Planet Scooter. As you can see, 3 different variations that were re-released. I can't even click on the picture, but that's what it looks like. It's a little scooter, basically pricing of $2, around that time. Polybag packaging. This one was a box packaging, and this one was also a box packaging that got because one of these said they came out in, if we go back here, 1998, which is probably this set number right here, 3014. So that would be this one right here. This one came back out. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's a year. Sorry about that. This one I own, we'll get into that one. Celestial Sled. Now, this one, my sister actually owned this one, and I remember the day that she bought this one because I also bought a Lego set that was a police set. I went with the police set from Lego City back in the day, and it was basically a helicopter with a little motorcycle. And I wanted it because it's a motorcycle. Yeah. That motorcycle sold me. But I also wanted this thing too because look how cool it is. A little sled, it has a satellite dish. I want that satellite dish. That was cool. I like that satellite dish. Blizzard Baron, we own that one. Of course, as you can see, that was $4 back in the day. Look at that, $4 for that. Istat V or 5, whatever, if that's a Roman numeral. I don't know. I don't recall. But look at that pricing, $15 for this thing. Back in, again, 1993, 1994, $15 range for this thing. Are you serious right now? Are you kidding me? We are getting ripped off this with pricings anymore. Inflation. It's really bad on Legos. Deep Freeze Defender, another one that I own. That's what I got for Christmas that year. I think it was 95 is when I actually got that one. $45. Look at that. Look at that. $45. And it's big. It's big. And then, of course, every freaking space theme had this type of build here on the base plates, you know, similar to with different mechanics and features, but very similar. This is the Ice Station Odyssey. This is ranged around $60 for their major set, all right? Pieces, 343 pieces. This thing had 417 pieces. Look at that difference right here, $45 to $60. It's the base plate. I'm telling you right now, it's the base plate. That's what it is. But those are some sets right there. Just kind of show what I own and what I don't own. So let's go take a look at the sets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the 4 sets that I own of the Ice Planet 2002 series, released back in 93, 94. And we will start with, we're going to move this to the side here for a moment. Hopefully don't break it. They're kind of a little fragile. They're dirty looking too because dust accumulation. And the white has kind of yellowed on some of these because, again, they're old. Well, we'll start with this one here. This is the very first one I got of the Ice Planet set. And again, what I love about this thing is the visor that's on these helmets. It's so awesome. And also the face printing. Each of these guys have really cool face printings. You know, you got the kind of flowing blondish hair right there on this figure. The torso has, you know, the nice printing of the Ice Planet emblem and everything. Pants back in the day, of course, you know, solid standard color. And he has the skis right back here. And then you have the chainsaw here, which, you know, with the orange, it looks like it's a heated chainsaw, which you could visualize that, or kind of a beam chainsaw, if you will. But, you know, this is all it does. It just goes through and just, you know, does this thing. It's basically called the Ice Tunnelator. And this ranged around $3 back in the 90s, of course, around that time when it came out. Used value is looking like it's at $10.47. This is per Brickset.com. And, of course, new, if you get it new in box, $60 for this. Ridiculous, all right? Crazy. All right, we're going to set that one aside. And then the next one I got, I'm going to go in order here of what I purchased and received. This one was my favorite one out of, well, minus the giant ship. But this was my particular favorite because I just love how this ship looks. It's really cool. You got the orange plating right here that goes over him. Again, the chainsaw on the side here with, you know, where the beam or heated saw blade. That's where he stored it at. I like to have it, you know, anchored in like so. That way you can just hold it from this end here. Kind of like a gun, if you will. Or just kind of dual with the blade with it if you have to engage in a battle. But I like the idea of the skis right here. How they just implemented just the figures skis on the bottom for kind of like landing pads to ski onto the ice or snow. You got these rockets right over here, which these could be like laser cannons as well, like you can fire off. He has his own set of skis up top for this figure. And of course inside, it's the same character, the same character for this one with the blonde hair, the same emblem and everything, helmet. You got like a little controller pad in here, which is pretty unique for the Ice Planet series, as you can tell. And a little console right here for him to control and pilot the ship. On the back here, you got the satellite dish that detaches like so. Has a little, again, console here. Dish rotates, has a little antenna, goes like so. It just bends. You could take this part off on the back of it as well if you want to just deploy it and lay it on the ground. and just attach this thruster on the back to just take off, leaving the dish behind for research purposes or whatnot. But this one was one of my favorite ones out of all the Space Lego mini crafts or ships that are out that I own. Because of this reason with the satellite dish, that's why I loved it. That's why I got this one as well. Since I didn't get the Celestial Sled, this was like, oh, this one's got a dish. So, and it flies too, so it's pretty awesome. But moving on to the next one here, we'll just go ahead and go to the next mini set here. I don't think it was in this right order of receiving, but this one actually came in a 2-in-1 set. It had a fire truck with it, and this one's not listed, I don't believe, with that packaging. But this one is basically unnamed per brickset.com. Of course, if you go to the bricklink.com again, unnamed Ice Planet satellite plow with the question mark. All right, yep, that's pretty much what it is. It's a plow with a satellite dish. Again, this is a packaging in a box. Don't know what the price range was for that at the time, but its value used is at $42.45. That's very specific. But yeah, it's one of those cool sets, and this one is the captain, I believe, or the commanding officer, or the chief. And of course, you look with the white mustache and the white eyebrows, and you got the different emblem and, well, similar emblem, but different style of torso right here, just, you know, signifying that he's the chief of the Ice Planet crew. Of course, again, looking at this was a little bit faded, actually, just now noticing it. The Ice Planet control console. I love the plow right here with this Ice Planet design, and also maneuvers like so to be directional, raise up and down. The satellite dish on the back has this type of thing. Look at that, not stickered. Amazing, right? Not stickered. And he has a little bit of different setup here with the skis and the blade, and of course using this type of megaphone slash laser cannon type of deal, whatever you want to call it. This thing also detaches off the back. You can just sit out there while he goes and plows and does his job. And then of course with the little arrow telling you what to do with it, just reattach it back on. Pretty simple, pretty easy. And now to the main event for the Ice Planet sets right here. This is the Ice Planet Deep Freeze Defender. This one I got for Christmas, I believe in '95. Coincided with the Lego castle that I got, the Royal Knights castle. That took me 8 hours to build, and then right after that I went into this, and yeah, I had a bad day. Don't do Lego building in one long session, all right? It's just, I got cranky and hungry at some point at the whatever age I was, 10? I don't know. But yeah, it's one that my mom actually finished for me because, yeah. But I had to go back over and correct some things that were wrong with it. But this is pretty cool. It's pretty massive. It's pretty big. You know, as you can tell with holding it in my hand, you can pick it up like this, pick it up from the bottom, kind of swoosh around, you know. And I am missing an antenna over here. I'm not sure where that ran off to, but it's gone. And the other things that are missing on here, because this has magnets, at some point, I don't know when or how this happened, but I decided to attach all the magnets and the connector pieces from every set that had magnets, just because I was playing with the magnets for some reason. I have the magnets. I don't know what happened to the connector pieces for all my sets. They gone. So I'm a little upset by that. I may have to go see if I could go order those pieces and reconstruct. But this has like a little missile bay here, cargo area. You could launch a missile from. This little satellite thing, you also put that on top of it if you like. I've seen that in pictures where you could put the little satellite on there. But usually the satellite kind of rests right there, or you can leave it resting on the missile too if you like. The little Ice Planet emblem right here, whatever. On this unique windshield type of deal, but this course obviously is not windshield. Got the orange shieldings right here, orange shieldings here, and all around. Orange everywhere, white, blue, and orange. That's what this is. This right here in the back, if you lift these up, you can push this out like so, and out comes the Commander-Chief right here. He could just fly out. He did have a magnet piece right here. Again, missing piece, of course, where you can, you know, load the missile or unload the missile if it likes. You know, you can just slide them right in the back with this part here and just kind of rest right inside the cargo bay area, whatever you want to call it back there. You got little hoses on the ends right here. A little bit of rocket thrusters there. Kind of angle it from the bottom here. And then we got rockets all on the bottom. And you got these vessels here. This is where Dr. Kelvin, I believe, the female character, is in one of these. Kind of showcase the face printing on her. Same build as the male Ice Planet character, which is the same one in that cockpit as well. And on each of these ships, if I can get them in there right, each of these ships, which these all detach. As you can see, they got the arrows right here. They just attach. Oh my gosh. It's been since 95, guys. 30 years. Has it been 30 years? Yeah, 30 years, y'all. What's up? 30 years of owning this set. So this set's 30 years old, just now thinking about it. But yeah, they detach. You got the saw. You got the little gun icon. You can stick the saw in. Skis. So they could detach and be their own individual ships. On both of these, again, 30 years. They're tied in there. There we go. And then you can detach this part here and detach this as well. And just break them all off into 4 separate things. But the other cool thing you can do is simply attach one of these ships per set to make them 2 different things. It's very versatile. It's very unique. And this is why I love this set so much right here for the Ice Planets. This is one of the best big ships that you can get out there because of the versatility of this set and how functionable it is. And, you know, it's I would consider right up there with the re-release set that came out. Drawing blanks on that one that I reviewed a while back. Yeah, totally drawing blanks on that. But very versatile. You know, I would say that's still probably massive and bigger than this. But still, for what it was in the 90s, you know, when I got this in 95, it's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day and take care.